maybe you don't want the drama. I
I
don't know.
do want it, and we are live now. So,
Oh,
um,
you do want it hot, Claire. You're
I
gonna
do
get
want
it.
it
You're
hot.
gonna get.
I always like it hot.
You never want it cold, right? That's the worst.
I'll have it
You
cold if
gotta
I
warm it up a
must, but
little
I
bit.
prefer it hot. So,
Right.
I'm going to announce my guest, who is John Gischala, who was a
Mm.
Jewish convert from an Irish Catholic background, and you have an announcement to make.
You're gonna go right into it, huh, Claire? You don't even have a build up. You don't have like ease, and you talk about you want it hot, but don't you want it like ease into it, or you just wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
Well, you did say you didn't have long, so I didn't want to spoil your story by talking about the weather and your health.
Uh, Nothing. No, things are good, and I life has been treating me well actually for the past month or so. Actually, a little bit longer, 2 months. Life is really good, and it's funny because I put out videos on YouTube. Actually, I'm banned, and I don't know if I'm going to come back to YouTube. So this might be my last video.
Where could
So
you
Claire, you got
go
a couple.
if you leave YouTube? Will you be going
There
what?
is no place to go. There no other that Rumble. That place is a shithole. That place sucks. I mean, there isn't really a place to go. So YouTube's like really the only place you can go if you really want to do YouTube. If you want to do videos.
Yeah,
Um,
there's Odyssey that looks all right, and they very kindly take your they transfer your videos on YouTube. Well,
oh yeah,
before
you like Odyssey? You,
well, most people seem to be there, and BitChute is the other one where there's no live streaming, but I guess it's a kind of archive for all the forbidden stuff that they don't allow on YouTube.
I see. Yeah, BitChute, BitTube's also another one. I don't know if you heard of BitTube, but
No, no, um, but really, I suppose we should try if we have a message to stay on the biggest platform, in order to get the widest possible audience. I suppose because
yeah, I think you have a good. I think you've been trying to do the message, the secular Quranism, and since we talked, how you've been doing with the secular Quranism? How many people are on board now?
well, not that many to be honest, but more people have heard of
Yeah.
it and more people oppose it, and I get more people. Well, okay, I'm more active on Telegram now, and I have
Oh,
to be
good.
because I keep getting kicked off Facebook for saying hardly anything at all.
Right.
So obviously, if I get a 30-day ban, I have to do something else, and Gab is well Siberia, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, Gab is. They claim they like free speech, but I don't think they do.
Well,
Um,
I discovered that one of my links was banned, and it was a YouTube link, and it was basically, oh, what was his name? I can't even remember the guy now, but he was Catholic, and he was giving a talk on Islam, and and they were all middle class, educated people, and they weren't saying anything radical, but I guess the Gab people didn't like it, and it was banned.
yeah.
And it was
Very
actually
nice.
something given, a link given to me by Amanda. And
Hmm.
then I realised, it was just this guy saying, Islam is not so scary, it ain't so bad. And that YouTube link was actually banned. So I guess people don't really get free speech. It's only their kind of
Yeah.
free speech, not our kind of free speech.
Right. I mean, that's the way it is, right? I mean, people want to claim they support all these different things, like my body, my choice, right? But does my body, my choice really work when it comes to wearing masks and the Fauci ouchies? You know what I mean? Like, no, you have to do what we say. We're telling you how to live. We're going to shut down the economy. We're going to get rid of your job because I believe in my body, my choice. But they don't really believe in my body, my choice. They believe in government dictatorships and ruling over you and power. That's what they want. But I think we're getting a little off topic, Claire. I like the topic, actually. I'd rather stay on that topic, but I got a big announcement. I like how you make it. John Gischala has a big announcement. And the big announcement is that back in December, I got married. I got married.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Got married to a beautiful woman. I actually had, believe it or not, people are gonna their drawers, their fucking chins are gonna hit the floors. Excuse my French. I had a what you call a nikah marriage. Is that how you pronounce it?
Oh, the mask thing.
At the mosque. Yeah, I went to the Islamic Center out here where I live. A nice place. I met like this guy. He was like some sort of sheik of I don't know. He was dressed up, and he had the outfit on, and he was a rich, powerful man. That's all I know. Prince. That's what a sheik is, a prince, right? And he married me and my wife, nikah marriage.
A
It's very
nikah,
nice.
nikah is a kind of contract, isn't it?
It's a kind of contract. I took a vow. I gave a dowry. Exchanged. Some. We. I don't want to get in my personal business exactly what we did and said, but
It's a
yeah,
booking fee basically for the woman, a
a
bit like
booking, a
an
booking.
engagement ring, but not an actual engagement ring.
I bought my wife. Let's just put it in the white man's terms.
You
I
booked
bought my
her.
wife. I bought my wife. I paid good money for her. Let's just say. Um. So, you know, but in order to do that, you have to do something before that because sheiks don't normally marry non-Muslims to Muslims.
Yes.
So I had to first take the Shahada, and I took that the week earlier.
Uh huh.
So
How
yeah,
did
oh,
that
yeah,
feel? How did that feel?
it was all right. It felt good. It felt all right.
How do you say it
Powerful.
again? La ilaha illallah and something something something. I can't remember the rest.
Yeah, Muhammad Man. Yeah, yeah. Like in English, it's something like I testify that there's only one God and Muhammad is his faithful slave and prophet, or something to that effect. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, you believe Muhammad's the last prophet and the slave to God. Um, and it was all right. It was good. We had a couple of guys. We actually did it at the house. Believe it or not, the new house. We actually things have been really good. Like I said, the past 2 months have been good. We bought a new place. We had people over. We have guests. We got brand new furniture, and just the place looks amazing. And just like everything's been going well. We've been blessed. I've been learning new words to say. It's a Baruch Hashem. My favorite word is Baruch Hashem, but I guess the Islamic equivalent
Is
is uh,
inshallah.
Inshallah, and then the other one I learned is
Oh,
Hamdulillah. Hum,
alhamdulillah.
yes, that means like God is good, or God is no. That means God wills. If God wills it, if God wills it. I like that one. That's a good one. So it is what it is. I'm just my normal self. I mean,
It's the
being a
same
Jew
God.
is
It's the same God,
it's
right?
the same. It's the same thing, man. Well, actually, it's a little different. Like I'm just used to doing the Jewish wuzu. I guess they call it wuzu in Islam. Wadu and wazu.
The
I like
cleansing
the
thing.
the cleansing, the
Yeah.
water cleansing. I think it's better in Judaism, man. All you do is you get a clean pool, you dunk in the mikvah, you go in 3 times, you come out clean. Islam, you're like, okay, you pour water over your hands 3 times, and then you got to do the face 3 times. You got to stick the water up your nose, and you got to go in the ear, and then you got to go to the face, and then you got to go in the beard, and then you got to go. It's like you do the feet now, and you got to throw the feet in the sink, and it's like, oh my god, I'd rather just jump in the pool 3 times and just dunk.
But do you
You
have time
know,
to go into the mikveh 3 times a day? Is that what you do every day? Surely
well,
not.
as Jews, well, the Chabad thing was that men do it in the morning before getting their day going, and then you're clean all day, right? So it's the same in Islam. So as long as you don't as long as you don't touch something that's impure or have sexual relations, you're clean to pray and do things all day, just like in Islam, right? But if you do break it, then you have to do it again. So it does become time consuming if you're out there in the world, doing things, constantly to keep washing.
Yeah, yeah.
But women normally just do it when they have menstrual cycle, and then they go and they clean and then they come back. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
I mean it's interesting. Yeah, go ahead. What was your question?
no,
What
I
were you
was
gonna say?
thinking of the mikveh, but this is to do with Judaism and you're not supposed to have sexual relations with your wife, right? Unless she goes to the mikveh after her period, that kind of thing,
Right,
right?
right. It's like this. It's the same thing in Islam. It's trade. I mean, it's what's the word? It's
Haram.
not only is it haram, it's having sex with your woman on her period.
Well,
It's
you're not
like
supposed to. You're
death
supposed to
sentence.
leave her alone for a whole
Right.
week. I think. I think that's the rule, isn't it?
Yeah.
She gets a week
You're
off
you.
every month.
She gets a week off every month. Yeah. Well, the woman gets a week off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's nice, right? So
Yeah, yeah, that's fair enough. So they're kind of treated as being, unwell
I
when
like
they
how
have their
I like how
period.
you, I like how you say that, Claire. It's like, the woman. It's so nonchalant. You say, she gets a week off. What's a big?
Well, and I guess the rest of the time you can sexually harass her, right? Come on, baby,
Right.
how about it?
I
I
mean,
need it. I need you, baby.
you're right. Yeah. Men can be such pigs sometimes, right? But at least we can laugh about it. At least we can, laugh about it. But
Yeah.
at least you're good. You got a good humor about it, Claire. That's good. That's good. But yeah. So it's like it's all the same thing. It's the same thing. Like my wife was telling me about praying, saying like this, reading this passage from the Quran for happiness and wealth. And it's the book of Jonah. It's the book of Jonah, the Jonah and the whale getting swallowed by a fish. It's the same thing in Judaism. We believe that the book of Jonah is like a powerful book of like, helping someone who needs help. God will help you if you read that book. It's like, well, I guess in Islam they believe the same thing. If you read the book of Jonah, you're gonna, God's gonna smile on you and help you out in your situation. So I don't know. I haven't found any trouble, um, converting or transitioning or whatever the word is.
Mm-hmm.
There's minute differences. It's weird. There's some things that are, that you can't sleep a certain way, and you can't have your feet going towards the door or the Kaaba or something. I don't know. I can't keep up,
They're
but
just little things. I mean, they don't
yeah.
mean damnation if you forget. I,
Right, yeah, I had my feet pointed one way, and yeah, I don't know. It is what it
well,
is. I'm probably
does your
condemned
wife
anyway.
insist on those things, or is it just because you want to do it
Oh
yourself?
yeah, she's like hardcore, man. She's like a hardcore fundamentalist, But it is what it is,
Yeah.
So that was my big announcement, and my big announcement is that I'm happy, I'm doing well, and all of your haters, Claire, and all of my haters, they're crying, and they're gonna be crying in their sleep for weeks after hearing this. That I'm having a good life. It's great, actually. That's why I wanted to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and
How did you
yeah.
meet your wife? But perhaps people will want to know how you met her.
That might be a little. Oh, it would be giving away. We just
Oh, okay.
we just happened upon each other, and I made the first advance. I don't know, something just compelled me to say hello to her.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, because she looks different. She doesn't look like a white person, I guess you can say.
But she is white,
And
or she isn't.
according to science or whatever the fuck, she's Caucasian.
Right, right. So
But
so she.
according to people who believe in evolution and all that BS, I don't. I mean, obviously, I don't believe in evolution, but yeah, she's Caucasian according to
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And so I say to her, "Oh, where you from?" And she was starting telling me, "Oh, I'm from." Well, she said she was from Brooklyn, And they go, oh,
Oh, she's a
okay.
fellow American.
Yeah, yeah. She's from Brooklyn. And I said, well, I'm from Long Island. I'm from Nassau. But and I go to her. I said that wasn't what I meant to say. I didn't mean like where you're from. I meant like where you're from. I said to her, like not where you're from, but where you're from. And she goes, oh, I'm like she's this, and she started talking about where she was born and this and all that, and it was fun. It was good. And then I just I said, hey, so she likes singing, so I invited her out to sing, and we went to karaoke, and we were having a good time karaoke, and things led to one thing led to another, and led to being together,
Ah,
you know. And then she told me that we can't be together if we're different religions. I said I don't really care that much, you know so I was willing to do it. I was willing to compromise and come accept.
I think you must
Yeah.
do. Islam is less restrictive than Judaism, isn't it? Or your kind of Judaism. The fewer things to do or more things to do. I'm not sure. I suppose that's what I'm asking you to do, asking you now. Whether
I
there's more
I
stuff to
guess
do as a Muslim or more stuff to do as a Jew.
yeah. There's a lot of differences, and it is more restrictive, and I find Islam to be a little more. I don't want to be mean because I'm supposed to be a Muslim and I'm supposed to say the right things, but I find Islam to be a little more hateful. It's a lot of fire and damnation. There's a lot of killing and a lot of your God's gonna kill you. God's gonna put you in the fire. And I'm listening to the Quran, and it's talking about beautiful story about Moses, or it's talking about a beautiful story about Noah or Abraham, and then it's got to stick in. Well, these people are going to the fire. Moses went to Moses went to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh didn't listen, so Allah's going to put him in the fire. Abraham tried to convert the people, but they didn't listen to Abraham, so God's going to put them in the fire. It's like,
It's,
all
it's a
right, I guess
difference of
we're all.
emphasis, isn't it? I
It's
mean,
it's emphasizing the fire quite a lot there,
yeah,
Claire.
yeah, because I
Emphasizing
think
fire.
maybe people need to be frightened a little, because I think people might think they're all going to go to heaven because all these the Pope, I mean, Francis was saying, well, everyone has a reasonable chance of getting into heaven, even atheists, and everyone went ape, didn't they? It's like, well, what the hell did we suffer being Catholic for and attending all their long masses, and you're just saying anybody can have a reasonable chance of getting into heaven? I mean, that's not the idea either, is it?
Well, I personally don't think people are so bad that they won't get to heaven. Me personally, and Judaism does teach that. Judaism teaches that people are intrinsically good, and even though they might do bad things, God doesn't condemn them to hellfire and punishment. Matter of fact, there yes, there are Jews that believe in hellfire and damnation, but that's not a key focal point in the religion. Matter of fact, most Jews don't believe in hell. Most Jews believe that once you die, you go back to God, or some Jews believe in reincarnation, so you come back.
Yes, yes, but
So,
can I tell you a story? It's a recent idea, and it's intended to make you feel good about
oh, I
converting
love
from
to feel good. I
Judaism
love
to Islam.
Claire. I love to feel hot and good and all wet and bothered. Go ahead.
All right. So you know that there are 36 capital offences in Judaism, don't you?
36. Stoning, hanging, beheading, yeah, for sexual crimes and
Yeah,
idol
the
worship. Yeah,
four
yeah, yeah.
methods of dispatch: strangulation, beheading, stoning, and death by fire. Four methods
Right.
for 36 offences, and
For 36, yeah.
one
Yeah.
of them is called nidachat. Do you know that one?
What does that translate
Nidachat.
to?
It's basically it's death for Jews to be a citizen of a city that has gone astray.
Right. Okay. Yes. Right. You're supposed to flee. Yeah. You're supposed to go to You're supposed to live in a Jewish community. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually death by beheading, according to the list that I saw, right? And I know that, I asked this question of, my Jewish rabbi contacts, and it's like they'd never heard of it, or they didn't know what to make of it. So here's my line of reasoning. So any Jew who lives in any Christian nation, any Western nation that identifies as Christian, is technically earning Akkad, because
No.
Orthodox Jews do consider Christianity to be, well, an abomination, and the Orthodox Jews say you can't go into a Reform temple, synagogue, and you certainly can't go into a church because it's a place of abomination where idolatry is practiced. I mean, I know the Reform Jews don't care, but the
Yeah,
Orthodox
Turk.
Jews, actually
Yeah.
say you can't go in, not even to do business, even if you're just a plumber or electrician, you can't go in there. So that's a rule, but only for the Orthodox Jews. So they can't, those are the people who take it seriously, right? So because of this capital crime, it does mean that all Jews in Christendom have already clocked up a death penalty. I mean, of course, nobody's going to, behead them because, Gentiles don't do that sort of thing, to each other or to Jews. But God, if He exists, and you come before Him and it's like, were you ever a citizen of these Christian countries, and you're a Jew, and you say yes, and I was born and died in Britain, or any of these countries that are nominally Christian, and it's like, yeah, you've got one death penalty already, and you may have accrued others for breaking the Sabbath, and having, and enjoying sodomy and adultery, and whatever that comes under the heading of the 36. So the thing is, if you don't have your punishment in this life, the assumption is that you will get it in the next life. It's like, well, God will say, well, too bad, you're a Jew, you had those privileges, and I did make you Jews for a purpose, so I'm afraid you will have to be beheaded, and then you'll be resurrected, don't worry, and you've got another and you've got a few more death penalties
Right.
to undergo, and then you'll be okay, and then we can send you on your way to your reincarnation. So obviously that's not a pleasant prospect. And the only way that Jews can escape these penalties in their afterlife, if they believe in this sort of thing, is to do what you've done and convert to Islam.
Well, first of all, there's two things. The death penalty atones for the sin, right? So when someone is put to death for the sin that they commit, God, that's like a way of forgiving them. God forgives them, right? That's the point of the death penalty. Your sin is so great that you can't say you're sorry. You have to lose your life for it, and then God forgives you for that life. The second thing you said, the way you started off, is according to Judaism. I mean, at least from the Chabad perspective, America. I don't know. I can't really speak on Britain, England, or France or Spain or anything like that, but I can speak for America. And the Lubavitcher Rebbe said that America does apply to the laws of Judaism, that it is a Judeo-Christian nation, that it is that the founding principles of America and the United States in particular is compliance upon the Noahide laws, and he even signed with Ronald Reagan in the 80s, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, that America is, a Noahide nation, and it does follow monotheism, that they do believe in the one true God, and all that. So America is not, so a Jew living in America is not living in a city of that's condemned.
Yeah, because it hasn't got
That's
an
why
established church. It hasn't got an official religion. So Americans might be safe from this, right? But
Jews are
not so
forbidden.
Britain.
Jews are not allowed to live. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Jews are not allowed to live in a city that's condemned. That is, you put the blood is on your own head on
Yeah.
that, right? That's why Jews are supposed to live in Jewish. But to say that America, I don't know about the Europe. I can't speak on Europeans. In particular, I don't even know if there's any Jews left in Europe. To be honest with you, they got rid of a lot of them.
Well, I'm
I don't know
saying
if you
if you're
remember
a
that.
Jew in Italy, which is officially Catholic, or if you're a Jew in Britain, which is officially Anglican, because it does have an official religion, then you're in trouble because
But
you
that
are
just
part of
that makes
Christendom.
it worse, though. It compounds the problem, though, Claire. You're saying, okay, if I'm a Jew and I'm living in this trafe country, this place that's just committing abominations like Italy, that's Catholic. So I'm going to convert to Islam. That doesn't solve the problem because you're making it worse. Because in Judaism, if you convert to another religion, you're put to death anyway. So that so from a Jewish perspective, you're supposed to be put to death for converting to Islam. So it doesn't save you. It doesn't help you. It doesn't get you out of the
Where does
war.
it say you can't convert to Islam? I mean, obviously, if you're an idolater and blasphemer, that is a death penalty in itself. But isn't Islam supposed to be no
Only
hide?
Ram. The only way you can convert to Islam, Rambam, the Maimonides writes that Jews can convert to Islam for many reasons if they needed to. You can read what he writes, but just to paraphrase, like if it's monetary benefits or religious persecution, if a Muslim's going to kill you for being Jewish, just convert and just live on with your life. Like, but you're not supposed to do it. Like, you're supposed to stay a Jew. You're born a Jew. You're supposed to die a Jew. Um, so there are wiggle rooms for exceptions, but that's not the. I mean, I don't understand what you're saying though. Like, why does living in a Catholic country? How does that save you by converting to Islam?
Well, well,
You're
be,
still living in a Catholic country. You're still living in an abomination.
yeah,
Or, or,
but
or
the
you're saying that
penalty,
Islam not allowed?
but
Yeah.
but only Jews get all these terrible penalties. Muslims, don't get beheaded for being a citizen of a city that has gone astray.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see
Muslims
what you're
don't
saying.
get,
Okay.
executed for being a drunken and disobedient son. Muslims don't get executed for, breaking the
But
Sabbath
you
or picking
Muslim,
up sticks on
but the
Saturday.
alcohol is haram. So I mean, okay, I'm a drunk, disobedient son. I'm going to get stoned in Judaism, so I convert to Islam. But you can't be drunkard in Islam. You can't be a disobedient son in Islam. If you're a disobedient son, you're put to death. If you're a drunkard, you're put to death. So
Not as a
it doesn't.
but not as a Muslim. There are no similar penalties in Islam for these 36 capital offences.
So how does Islam take care of someone who's a disobedient son?
Well, I guess they're just admonished by their parents or by their community, but there is no formal punishment for being drunk and disobedient.
They, I hate to inform you, but they do it all the time. They throw them off of roofs all the time.
well, I really don't
Are you
know of
saying
any
that that?
verse in the Quran that says drunk and disobedient sons have to be executed. It's only in the Torah.
Oh, you're saying it's not on paper. Okay, but so you're saying it's on paper in the Quran on paper. You could technically be disobedient son, but even though that's not practice in reality, because Muslims sure as hell don't treat their disobedient drunken sons right. I mean, they just get rid of them, right? This politically correct saying, they just get rid of them.
Well, they
So
get
are you
told
saying
off, I
on
suppose.
paper?
I mean, I know Muslims say, don't say oof to your parents, which is, I guess, it's a sort of noise of dismissal or something when
Right,
your parents
right.
nag you or whatever. But I mean, obviously, the idea of being respectful to one's parents is also, you know, common in Islam. But no penalty accrues to you, even if you're drunk and disobedient. Now, obviously, you should apologize to your parents for being drunk and disobedient later. But it's not a formal penalty that is
Right.
stated in the
I
Quran.
guess I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. It's like, you have this, you know, it's like you have a broken leg and, you can't really get a cast for it to heal it. So you might as well get a tourniquet and heal it somewhat. I mean, it's not going to heal normal. You're going to have a limp, but at least you got healed. So that's what you're saying. Like, if you're a Jew living in a Christian nation, you're gonna get killed. But why don't you just live with a limp and convert to Islam? and just deal with a limp instead of having a broken leg and dying from infection. And instead of dying from an infection, you just have a limp. So it's better to have a limp than a no leg and die and to be dead. Is kind of what you're saying, right? It's
Yeah,
better
I
to
mean, the
have a
Quran
limp.
doesn't say, yo, Muslim, if you live in Christendom, there is a penalty waiting for you. There's nothing in the Quran that says that, but unfortunately for Jews, the Torah does say that the penalty of being a citizen of a city that has gone astray is death by beheading. But no such penalty exists, is in the Quran.
Yeah, but what does Muslims do with kafirs and cities of the non-believers? They're put to death anyway, right?
Well, no, I don't think they of course, they curse each other and condemn each other and say, Muslims don't say the sort of thing and, whatever. But that's how they argue. I guess
So
what they're
it
saying
only
is,
really
you're a
has.
heretic for saying this thing, which I'm sure Christians did to each other when they took Christianity seriously, but now they don't.
So it's like if you're just like a regular person and you're like kind of a heretic and you're kind of a kafir, and but you want to live in peace. Convert to Islam. I sort of just live my life, and you know what? That city, that's just they take it serious and they believe in their little idol worships and their little Jesus statues. You know what? I'll let them die in their own filth. That's kind of like what you're saying, right? Like the ones that have the wisdom to get out, convert to Islam, join secular Quranism, save your life. But those who are just steeped in it, they're going to be condemned. They're just going to die anyway. Is really we're getting
Well,
at, right?
what I'm
That's really the
saying,
message.
what I'm saying is, if God exists and he's totally serious about all the laws, he said, it's like, well, I meant it when I said, you should suffer death for being a citizen of a city that has gone astray. I meant it about being a drunk and disobedient son. I really did
Right.
mean it, and don't just sort of, I never said I didn't mean it, and you just pretended that I forgot all about it, and you pretended all these things were okay, and all Jews are going to go to heaven. Well, that ain't the case, and I think, if such a situation were to happen, it's true that he never said, "Oh, I didn't mean it. Don't worry, guys. It's all right. Don't worry." He never said that. But anyway, he produced a different book called the Quran, where these terrible penalties for Jews are not repeated for Gentiles. So if you're a
Right.
Gentile and you didn't, I mean, okay, these penalties wouldn't apply to Gentiles anyway, right? Or most of them wouldn't apply
Most
to
of them, the
Gentiles.
majority of them wouldn't apply. Yeah, the
Yeah.
majority of them.
But so, if you're completely a Gentile, then it's okay to live in a city that has gone astray, because Islam, or the Quran anyway, gives humans the people the human right of freedom of belief in chapter 2 verse 256, that says there is no compulsion in belief. Truth stands clear from error. So it's saying, well, we're not going to force you to be, is Muslim. You can be Christian, you can be Jew, but you have to be following these laws, the laws of the land, which would be Sharia, but you can believe what you like, and and for this reason, Islam is called an imperial religion, because it kind of knows that if you try to convert somebody out of their religion, they're just going to resist you and hate you and commit acts of terrorism. So you leave them alone, as long as they pay their taxes and they're not criminals. You leave them be, and that is how empires worked. Otherwise you'd have all these different people that you've conquered, and if you're going to just make them convert to your religion, they're going to resist you. And of course, some of them will join your religion, because they think, oh, look at these people who conquered us. They must be so cool. They must have such a good religion, and we'll check it out and assist our career, if that is the mainstream religion that we ought to have. Now that these people are in charge.
Right. That should be your slogan, Claire.
What?
Convert to Islam. Convert to Islam. It's cool.
Well, I
Be
can't,
one.
because I
Be
don't.
one of the cool.
I'm not
Be one of the
Muslim.
cool kids. Be one of the cool kids. Convert today. And just you smoking a cigarette, because that's what they did with the cigarettes, right? You want to be cool, smoke a cigarette. You want to be cool, be a Muslim.
Well, perhaps one day it will become cool, but I mean, obviously, there's going to be, when it becomes mainstream, but it's going to be a while yet, and I think secular Quranism would be actually better for white people, while they get used to the idea, and also they should read the book, and a lot of cultural Muslims, they don't read it, they don't know it, in the same way that a lot of people call themselves Christian, have never read the Bible and don't know much about it. But secular Quranists would have
I
to know.
I always said this, and this was always controversial, and I always got in trouble for saying this, but I always thought Islam was good for Europe because Europe's a shithole. They're a bunch of atheists, they're a bunch of homosexuals, they're abortionists, they love all these wonderful, beautiful things that that are just so hateful for humanity. And drunkenness and they drink. I mean, oh my God, right? You want to talk about alcoholic and disobedient sons? Take a look at Europe. Muslims, they clean that up. You know what I mean? You go into some of these English cities now, and they have like Muslim patrol groups, and they have like these like Sharia enforced zones or whatever. There's no pubs over there anymore. There's no prostitutes anymore. So the white man might hate it because they don't get prostitution anymore, but it's definitely better for your soul. It's definitely better for the world. You know, so it does clean. I mean, it is cleaning up. No offense, if you excuse my friends, the shithole that it is England. Um, but then again, I don't really like English people, so maybe I'm biased. So I don't know. That's
Well,
my answer to that.
I think the reason why everyone in the West is complaining about immigration is because of feminism, and feminism will be dealt with quite easily by well, Islam, or
Because
the
of its
rules of the
feminism, why do
Quran.
people complain? What does immigration have to do with feminism?
Well, feminism causes people to distract themselves with fornication and not marry, so they marry later, and then when they're married, they are unfaithful to each other and they divorce each other, leaving their children, brought up in, one parent families, and something, bad happens to the kid, it's not doing as well as it should in school, and, and I think it causes the next generation to be, well, mixed up kids, and with
Yeah,
alcohol and mental health issues because they don't have two parents, their two parents in a loving relationship who are married to each other,
yeah.
living together, and showing them how to be properly grown up. So I
I
think,
agree with that. I agree. Liberalism is a mental disorder, and it causes a lot of problems. This feminism and equality bullshit, which is not really feminism and not really equality. If you really believe in loving women and treating women right, it has nothing to do with these bullshit talking points in politics. It's bullshit. I mean, if you love women, you treat them.
well,
It
you
doesn't even
protect
make any
them and
sense.
maybe even
Feminism.
protect them from themselves.
I would listen to someone say, someone was telling me, oh, women were only always treated like crap. It's only the last 20 years women had anything. I said, does that even make any sense? How could humanity even survive the past that couple of thousand? I mean, depending on how old you think humanity is, let's just say 100,000 years. How did 100,000 years of human civilization exist if the half of the population was treated like shit? You couldn't have civilization. Women women weren't. I mean, were cavemen treating women like shit? I mean, what does that even mean? I don't even know how even to answer those questions. I don't even understand feminism. I mean,
Well,
okay, voting rights. I mean, women couldn't vote. I mean, what does that
well,
mean?
the thing
How
is,
does that mean you look down on women?
okay,
Just because a woman can't vote, that means you think women are treated like shit? No, I mean it's a political system. Okay, they can't be part of it, but there's systems. I can't be part of some systems. Am I going to sit here and say, "Oh, where's my equality? I want to be part of the this fucking system and that one"? I mean, come on now. I mean,
Yeah, I think it's crazy
I don't know.
because I think on the whole, men will treat the women they love quite well.
People
I
go to
have
war.
myself
Men go to
been,
war over women.
yes,
Men kill other men because of how much they love women. And how does that even make any sense if we
I
think
don't
women
think
are
it makes
shit?
any sense at all. Um, so,
Yeah.
so the thing is, even if it is true, as the feminists say, it's like, oh, women were chattels and they were slaves and shit like that. The thing is, if you did own a slave, you wouldn't be mistreating it because you don't want it to be ill or injured or whatever. So, they're valuable, people which
Right.
you would be very unwise to abuse and mistreat because they can do all kinds of things to you if they're not happy with you. So
It
I
couldn't
think,
make it doesn't make any sense because if men really thought low of women, women could just put poison in a man's food and kill him overnight, and then they go to bed and they die, and then the women can take over. So why didn't so
yeah,
if
or they could,
women
yes. I mean,
why don't every woman in the world why doesn't every woman in the world just kill their husbands, right? And then just now they're in charge. If that's how it works. If it's just the people with power are the ones that are in control, then why don't the women kill all the men and take the power? There's your answer to that one, Claire.
yeah,
See how that logic doesn't make sense? See how like this sounds stupid?
yeah,
You
and
know?
and, and I think it's time that men argued against this feminist narrative, even though they might get cancelled, and maybe argue about it in a way that won't trigger these feminists all over the place because I guess they're quite frightened because they know the enormity of the heap of lies they've been telling to so many people, and they've got to very slowly walk back on it and say they were wrong. But it seems to me that they're just doubling down on their lies and just trying to pretend that,
Mm.
that their narrative was correct all along. And that is why we're seeing so much
People
censorship.
live
And
in their people live in their own world. They have a facetious lifestyle. They have a fake world, and they can't get out of it. So they make more lies to keep on going. People like me, Claire, people like you, Claire, we just want to move on with our lives. We just want to live like a peaceful people and just, do the right thing.
yeah, and we want
You
the
know,
laws to be sensible and fair and not crazy and changing the whole time because they don't know what they're doing.
right.
I mean, I think we just
We
want the right people to be in charge, following the right kind of laws, and we want to be able to ask a few questions and get a few honest answers.
Right. Exactly.
And obviously
Exactly.
something went wrong, quite a while back. I mean, I don't think it happened, within our lifetimes. I think, the 50 years, the past 50 years, Western governments have not been protecting the institution of marriage, and that's why we are where we are, and they can't admit their mistake. So if they don't fix it, then the problem's going to get worse. So you know it's time to talk about these things rather than blaming Jews and silly things like that because that's what they do. I mean I've
Mhm.
associated with
Blaming.
people who have a problem with immigration. I've joined one of their party or one of their
I
parties,
love
and then what they
blaming
do
Jews
is,
for
is, is
everything,
that they,
Claire.
they they never honestly explain the problems to their people. It's like you're having a bad time, you hate immigration, it's the Jews, you know, and
Don't
they're
you
happy
realize?
to believe
Don't you
it.
realize, Claire, that it's the Jews that bring these people to the country? It's the Jews. It's the Jews that bring the Muslims in to behead you. Even though it's the Muslims that are killing the Jews, it's the Jews that are coming to bring them in. Yeah, that's the logic of the goy.
Well, I mean, to be
Jews
fair, that there
bring all the
are.
Muslims to Europe, right? The white man believes that the Jews are bringing all the Muslims to Europe, right? And then the Muslims are the ones beheading Jews and killing Jews, and anti-Semitism is going skyrocket into the roof. but the guy still believes that it was the Jew behind it.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
and
that's that's
it's
called
not.
thinking with your goy Chicago.
It's completely
Yeah.
crazy, and you think, no, this is not how it's done, because neoconservatism is about bombing the shit out of Muslim countries so that these Muslims come over to the West as cheap labour, because that's how war was always conducted for. You take
Right.
slaves, but of course officially it's not known as that. They're known as migrants. So you bomb the shit out of Muslim countries. They have nowhere to go. They're not going to go to Africa. They're going to head to Europe or America, and
Oh yeah.
that's what they're doing. That's the purpose of neoconservatism. You know,
Oh
bombing
yeah.
Muslim countries, stealing their oil, and getting the refugees as cheap labour. That's their economic model.
It sounds like a good economic policy, don't you think, Claire?
Yeah, I mean it's worked up to now, until the Americans and the rest of Europe said, no, we don't want this anymore. And they get, well, I guess they get demonized for being, I don't know, domestic terrorists, white supremacists, Nazis, or whatever. But and of course the media narrative is that only white people care about immigration, and non-whites just love immigration. But actually, if you're not white and you complain about immigration, they shut you up by saying, who are you to complain about immigration, you immigrant? So they
Right.
have these different techniques of shutting us up and making us feel stupid if we dare to complain. And this they do through the media, which controls how we think, and what we think is right. What is the correct behaviour that we have towards each other. And I think, well, okay, people say, "Ooh, it's the Jewish media," but of course it's the CIA, right? The CIA control global media, because America.
Right. They have an agenda. Right. They have an agenda to push, and they're going to push it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's.
yeah, because
I mean, whether you're Jewish or
America
not.
administers a global empire. So because you have a global empire, we have global government and we have global media, and it's like, is it more likely to be the Jews or the CIA? It's the CIA, right? Because that's how the American empire is run. You get everybody from Australasia to Europe to America, believing in the same orthodoxy.
Right. Right. That's exactly right. Yep. That's what orthodoxy is adhering to the script. Oh. All right. So what's the big finale? How's the comment section on the video looking?
I'll
People
look at it
are
now.
shitting themselves. Huh?
I wasn't really reading about it. But because I wanted to concentrate on you.
Oh, thank you, Claire.
So we have 3 likes and 8 concurrent viewers. I'm sure there'll be more later. Yes, there's quite a lot of posts. So Domingo is there,
Oh
and
yeah.
and very angry with you. Who says, Gischala, you're vile and disgusting.
Who said that about?
Domingo, who also calls himself Bad Times. And
Oh, I don't know who that is in particular. Okay. Nice.
Domingo,
Oh yeah, I'm
yeah.
disgust. Did I
Well,
have to
he's,
do?
he's
He got her.
Catholic and he doesn't like Jews and he doesn't like Muslims either. But he says he believes
Oh,
in God. And every now and then he says
want to talk
Jesus is
about
God.
calling the kettle black? A Catholic calling someone disgusting. Oh, all right. Good.
So Walker's wisdom, he laughs as a Christian and he doesn't like you. He
Who
says,
doesn't?
some, he's called Walker's wisdom. He's Jay Walker.
Oh, okay.
So he thinks you're arrogant and Colin Colenso, who now calls himself Mr. Hat 5000, says you look like Elvis with a beard. No. He
Thank you.
says
I
this
look
guy
like
makes
Elvis like a
beards and Beardly look like Elvis. I don't know who the hell he is.
All right.
So
Very good. All
I
right. Good. I guess people are enjoying the show. That's all that matters.
yeah, lots of comments, and I don't know what Tehran Pool means when he says Claire is juiced. Maybe he's saying I'm Jewish or a bit Jewish or something.
Yo, yeah, yeah, sure.
Um, so no, I mean, not very flattering comments, but you weren't expecting anything flattering
No, yeah, I
anyway.
was expecting at least something. I was expecting at least one positive comment, but that's all right.
Um, uh,
I'm sure there's someone out there that said something nice.
well, bushy beard, round glasses. That's like,
Bushy
I
beard
guess,
round.
factual and not particularly
That's
insulting.
nice. That's a nice comment. Yeah.
Yes, and somebody called
Um,
Yo Mama says this man is very confused.
yeah, I'm confused. Confused. Well, I mean, life is confusing. What could I
Well,
say?
it is particularly confusing now because nobody knows what the rules are. Even the people who support liberalism, it's like they don't know what the rules are either. You know, and that's why you get our political classes. That they're fighting amongst each other and clobbering each other and trying to get rid of each other using the rules of lockdown that they're claiming that their opponents have broken. Or they're doing that in the
Yeah.
UK now anyway. It's like you had a lockdown party and therefore you must resign.
I thought England was was lifting up the restrictions. I thought they were going to ease up a little bit.
Yeah, I think that they're going to lift it a month early, but obviously I don't even follow what the latest rules are. And
Yeah, I don't follow it. You, yeah, I don't even. I only leave the house to go out with the wife anyway. I don't even really give a shit what goes on in the outside world. To be honest with you, the only thing I care about is my life. My life is not affected by what other people do. So
so you were married in, did you say December?
December, yeah.
And well, it's always a bit difficult, isn't it? Being married, living with somebody. I think
I found it to be quite. My wife has been very good to me. It feels like just living with my Bashir, my soulmate. Just her and we get along so well.
that's
I mean,
great.
I don't know any other way to put it. It just we do something, it's like in sync. Oh, you want to do that? Like, yeah, let's do that. And it's just I don't know really know how to explain it. Like there's no real conflict. There's no real um disagreements.
Well, it
You
sounds like you're
know,
very compatible.
compatible. That's the word I'm looking for. There you go, Claire. The compatibility is high. It's so funny. We went the sheik who married us said, "Well, I don't marry people without doing first counseling." So he made us do like a counseling thing. I don't know if it
How
had
was that
something.
done? Did he speak
So
to
we
you
just went to his.
separately,
We went.
or did he speak to you
No,
separately?
we went together. We went together to the masjid. Actually, I don't think it was a mosque. It was like an Islamic center, some sort of Islamic center. Had like a gym, and it had like a prayer room, and it had like it just was like it was like a beautiful building, and he had his office there, and we just went and he talked to us, and he just explained what a marriage is and what a man's responsibility is, and once we started talking and he started knowing me, he's like, oh yeah, you two are great, you two are, you seem to get along, and you know my wife is a very lovely person. She's very quiet, calm, respectful, very nice. So it's really good. I'm quiet, I'm calm. Anyone who knows me, I'm the persona that I put on the internet, it's much different than the persona I put on in real life. And um so yeah, and that was that. That was that. And we went back and we had like a little ceremony. Did a thing. I prayed. Um Gave a dowry. We prayed, and then the imam came and he like gave like a blessing, some sort of, he said some sort of prayer. Um, you expect not a prayer like like a dua, it's like out of his own words, whatever you call it, and that was it. That was the day. It was really good. It was beautiful. It was really beautiful. Then we went out to dinner. That was it. Beginning of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hmm. Great.
it was, yeah, no, nothing to it. No, there was really nothing to it. And then we made like an, I don't know. The wife made like an announcement or something. Like I don't know. There's like a double. There's like a multi-step process to marriage, I guess, in Islam. You first have like a nikah, and then you have like a different ceremony, like the later or something. And I don't really know the ins and outs exactly, but we tried our best. We did what we did. It
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
was nice. It was good. It was good. And Claire, when are you planning on settling down and being and finding someone?
Well, nobody comes to mind. So I mean, they would be distracting, and they would find my constant internet activities insufferable anyway. And
Insufferable, huh?
yeah, I wouldn't be much of a wife really with my political activism. And
You do. You have a knack for it. That's for sure. Political activism. You have a knack for it. How did we meet, Claire? How did we come upon each other?
well, I think it was something to do with you being Noahide or Jewish. I imagine, because I'm interested in all the
I
three Abrahamic faiths, so I must have asked you a few questions. Or thought you were Jewish.
I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even remember how I met you. That's so
I don't
weird.
either. I suppose if you go back to our first streams together, we might pick up a few clues here and there.
It was definitely because of Google Hangouts. That's for sure. It might have been because I must have ran into a room with you and just happened upon you were part of topics that I like to be part of. You hosted topic. You had hangout rooms devoted to topics that I would participate in. Probably that's probably how we got involved with each other.
Yes.
Because you were big into heavy into the Hangouts, right? Google Hangouts.
Yes,
You were
I'm a
like
bit.
there from the beginning.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
when you could stream just using that, yeah, that was a
Oh, I
few
love
years
that. Yeah,
already.
Google Hangouts was great back then. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. All
Uh,
right. Yeah.
yeah, it was so easy
Okay.
and simple, and I think you had something to do with Church of Entropy. Did you?
Oh yeah. No. Yeah. No. You introduced me to her and Duvin. You got me involved with them.
Uh,
Now are you and her on good terms, or are you still not talking to each other?
well, she's not talking to me, but she sort of she's on Discord now and on Modern Day Debate. I don't know if you've heard of it, but anyway, it's this YouTube channel there.
Yo, yeah, I've been on Modern Day Debate. I debated a Christian on there.
Oh, great!
Oh yeah.
I'll look you up on that.
Go
But
to
yeah,
Modern
she's
Day
done quite a
Debate and
few
then search
already.
Gischala.
Right.
Just search Gischala on Modern Day Debate web's YouTube channel.
Yeah, he won't have me on for some reason. This Kunz Christian person, but
Oh yeah, he's kind of a little. He won't have me on anymore either because I don't like fighting and screaming and yelling. He likes fighting, yelling, and screaming, and he likes young Earth creationism for some reason. He likes putting like young Earth creationists up against liberals and like letting them rip each other apart. He thinks it's good for views, so that's what he's all about.
yeah, it's
So,
entirely
yep.
unmoderated, isn't it? I mean, he just lets the guests rip
Oh
into each
yeah, he
other.
he just sits back and lets the animals go at it. Basically, let the Goya meet each other alive.
Oh, you think he's
Yeah.
Jewish, but technically he's Christian, I guess.
Yeah, he's no. Well, I was just using that as like a. I was just using let the goys go at it as like a slang, not necessarily that he because he was Jew, that because he's Jewish. But that's
Okay.
like his philosophy. His philosophy is like just let the animals rip each other apart because it's good for television. It's good for views, right? So that's why he has people like Neff Free, and that's why he has people like G Man and people like flat earthers on there and young Earth creationists like Ken Ham, because people just make fun of them and rip them apart, and it gets views. That's basically what it is. Like I had a serious conversation on there. It was me being a religious Jew, and I had a discussion with someone who was an atheist Jew on whether or not King David sinned, or King David was a sinner, and my position was no, he wasn't a sinner. And it was just a polite discussion. It was very simple. But ever since then, he wouldn't have me back. I was like, well when's my next show? Oh, I get back to you for any, well, let's see. I'll get back to you. But because I don't start drama and I don't start like nonsense, that it doesn't, he don't want that. So I don't never hear from him.
Well, you
But I
can
love to have
always
a
come
debate.
here.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll debate anyone about anything. I
Great.
don't know. What is a debate? I'm done with debate. I'll be honest with you, though, Claire. Debating, man, you can't really convince people too much. A lot of people are stuck in their ways and they don't really want to listen. I'd rather talk to
I
people who
know.
listen,
They're
like
not
you.
going to change your mind, whatever your reasons, because they're fixed on their position because they don't want to do this thing that you want them to do. And it doesn't matter. So you really have to debate with people who can be moved by truth, logic, and morality.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even though you're stuck in your ways too, and I'm stuck in my ways, we still can have a discussion that's worth having because we can listen to each other. Some people can't listen to what they're saying. They just ignore what the person says and then completely respond in a totally different way, and there's no conversation. It's just
Just
meaningless dribble,
waiting for your turn to speak,
waiting for your
waiting for the
turn to
other
speak
person
to
to
say
finish
nothing.
speaking so you can speak.
I'm waiting for my chance to speak to say nothing. That's what that is. Yeah,
Yeah, because it's very hard
exactly,
to
Claire.
follow. I mean, like when you listen to a journalist, who already has a list of questions to ask the guest, and you can tell that the journalist doesn't care what the answer is. It's like you can answer whatever nonsense you like. I'm not going to respond to anything you say because I'm just going to ask the next question, and it's like you quickly lose interest in a Q&A like that because you know that one side doesn't care about the answer. It's only when
Mm,
you respond to the thing that the person just said to you that you have anything like a dialogue going.
exactly. So, Claire, one big final question before I go. I'm going to get ready to go here. I got to go to work. I'm on the night shift. One big final question, something juicy, something that get the trolls all hot and bothered out there in the comment section. What do you got for me?
What? Oh, I thought you were going to.
No, I'm
Oh,
saying
right. Oh,
one.
a
You
question. Okay, a
do you have
question.
one big
Let me see.
you got something for me? One big juicy final question.
Well, there's one from that woman saying, "Did you buy a wife?" The usual predictable questions about you getting your wife from a mail order a catalog, right? So,
Yeah, I joined ISIS. We raided a village. We killed all the men, and we took the little virgin girls for ourselves.
okay, and
Is that the answer that they wanted to hear?
no, no, and somebody said, "Oh, he just unironically called us guys." Haha. So,
Oh, come,
so
Claire. What
you're,
do you
you're
got
not
for
a
me?
popular guest because you're still Jewish as far as they're concerned. So they haven't taken on board the fact that you have converted to Islam. To them, you're still Jewish, and they still don't like you because of that.
I mean, I mean, even though I don't know, I don't know. I consider I mean, they say once you convert to Judaism, you're always a Jew. And they say that about Muslims, right? Once you convert to Islam, you're always a Muslim. And the Christians say the same thing, right? Once you accept Jesus into your heart as your Lord and Savior, you're always a Christian. Everyone says the same thing. It's so funny how that works, isn't that, Claire?
Yes.
Christians Christians say the same thing that Jews say the same thing Muslims say, but yet they all hate each other. They all want to kill each other. Isn't that funny how that works?
Well, Abel and Cain. They're brothers from the same parents, and they killed each other, right?
All right, I believe in peace and you believe in peace.
But in
I
a
believe in
different
God, you
way.
believe in God. Yeah. I believe in a holy book. And I was trying to explain to my wife, it's like my wife was getting on me like about something, and I said to her, well, it's like Yankees and Red Sox. And she's like, what are you talking about? I said, well, if you're a Yankee fan, that means you have to hate the Red Sox. And if you're a Red Sox fan, you have to hate the Yankees. There is no such thing as a Red Sox fan liking a Yankee. You can't be a Yankee and like a Red Sox. You can't. It's against the law. It's against the rules. And she goes, what are you talking about? I said, that's the way it works in religion. If you're a Muslim, you cannot like someone on the Red Sox team. And
Right.
if you're Christian, you can't like someone on the Yankees. That's the way it works. No matter what they say, no matter if they believe 99.9% of what you believe, and they believe it and they accept it and they believe it's truth, you still have to behead them. You still
I'm
have to hate
sure
them.
it's not like that.
It is like that.
Well, only
But that's the
when you're
way it
fighting
goes.
a war. But I have a question, and I suppose I'm still curious about your wife, and maybe you share with us her country of origin.
Um, it's a little bit. It's just I can't give. I don't want. Well, first of all, she's a very private person. She
Okay,
doesn't do social
understand.
media.
Right.
She doesn't even have a Facebook account. She doesn't have any pictures on the internet, and that's really good because the trolls would find her and harass her. I don't.
Okay, okay.
I don't want to put her on. You know.
I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
And well, congratulations on your wedding and your marriage, and we hope that you'll be very happy, with each other.
Thank you.
And
And I wish that you pray for me, Claire, and keep us in your thoughts and prayers, and also that I pray, Claire, that one day you will find your significant other and settle down one day. And we're trying to have kids, so if anyone out there wants to pray for us, we want to have kids together. So,
right.
um, so that's all I request from the audience is just keep us in your thoughts and prayers.
I will wish you all the very best for your future and your family, and
Thank you.
and hope to see you again from time to time so we can discuss what's happening
Absolutely.
with us.
Yeah, I'm gonna. The wife wants me to. It's so funny. The wife wants to go on Hajj, so that's like my next plan, my next big update. So maybe I'm gonna shoot you a video when we do that. All right.
That would be great. That would be
That would be
great.
great, right?
Yeah.
All right. Take it easy, Claire.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
God bless.
You too.